So it's safe to say that the world is much smaller now than ever before, with accessibility in reaching those thousands of miles away with just a click of a button at our fingertips. Because of such ease of accessibility, certain injustices in one location can be relayed to the next in a matter of seconds, which in turn can create a common idea or goal to spark a movement for change. One such movement is Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter took its first breath in 2013, and since then has been a phrase, amongst many others, that rings around the world. But those words won't be chanted in protest from my lips, and here are the 4 reasons why.
Whole gang out here, we just trying to get this paper.
It's a phrase that fails to holistically address the issues faced within the Black community. Rather than addressing the choices that had for decades held us back, i.e. Black on Black crime, abandonment of a father's role within a family unit, the pursuit of self-fulfillment over the sacrifice for the betterment of the family, Black Lives Matter picks and chooses circumstantial events which are unfortunate occurrences and chalks it up as a systemic issue rooted in hate. Now, I am not here to argue the validity of such claims, but rather the very intent and the blanket accusations that always follow. Rallies and protests spring up at nearly every major city when news reports the loss of a Black civilian to the hands of that of an officer. And yet, the many young Black males and females slain by their own gets chalked up as for the culture. Street cred and free so-and-so if the shooter is apprehended, all included. Where's the protest in that? Where's the rallies? This is much like a person who chooses to crawl on his stomach but then accuses all those who walk as a cause of them being stepped on. The movement is a stagnant organization. When we invest our time and energy into that of an idea, it serves pertinent for that idea to one day bear fruit. Progress of such idea is very important because that progress justifies the efforts sown in. Black Lives Matter is a fruitless idea, and at first glance, it would appear to have all the ingredients necessary to progress the movement. It's catchy, trendy, controversial, and direct. But each step the movement makes is nearly always reactive and oftentimes lateral. I mean, honestly, think about it. What progress has Black Lives Matter achieved thus far outside of awareness? Has there been some police reform? Yeah, sure. But that wasn't even the targeted goal for Black Lives Matter. Defunding of the police was the objective. You see, all Black Lives Matter seem to have accomplished is idolizing and trending the fallen that narrate their stance while ignoring and demonizing the judicial system and its due process. Now, am I saying that all those who were victim to the police brutality were deserving of the matter? Absolutely not. People are people, and people are flawed, no matter the organization that they choose to represent. And that's all well and fine that those who support the Black Lives Matter would disagree. But let's be honest, there has not been one major breakthrough worthy of the organization. Heck, you may agree or disagree with the stance of the LGBTQ community, but you can't deny the accomplishments achieved by them. They have accomplished so much. You simply just don't have that with Black Lives Matter. The name incites confrontation. When was the first time you heard Black Lives Matter? How did you feel initially? Did you feel a sense of uneasiness, like a knee-jerk reaction to pushback? That feeling was intended, and if the group didn't have the crippling flaws I mentioned earlier, such statements might have been served beneficial. Those words, Black Lives Matter, brings out a conviction to understand more. Why black? Why not all? Unfortunately, it wasn't until you actually dig deeper you realize the power behind that phrase is due to the total disregard for inclusiveness. Question: how hard would it have been to place Black Lives Matter 2? Before there was the LGBTQ community, there was the LGB community, and possibly something before that. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King had 2 different viewpoints on Black rights within the United States, yet they too eventually saw the bigger picture. By simply adding the word "to," the desire to want to object to pushback would have been greatly reduced. But they chose not to do that. Because yes, the statement doesn't have the same effect. So rather than understanding the threat an officer faces every day, in order to upkeep the law and working alongside those in blue to help achieve the desired goal, it is far more important to stick with the agitative name. Because F what you think, rather than joining ranks with All Lives Matter by again simply attaching the word to. For greater resources and support outside of the community, it's far more important to uphold the shock value instead. So again, F what you think. I just simply can't get behind that. People that should care about Black Lives Matter don't. No amount of players kneeling and college kids screaming is going to incite change. Why? Because those who should be listening, those who should be calling forth action, are too busy. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you again.
My life matter, especially to my